All right, everybody. Super Bowl Sunday. And of course, I've been on the water, which is where I'm at pretty much every Super Bowl Sunday. Fishing was a little better today. Not on fire, but, we caught some fish throughout the day. Pretty tough yesterday. Got to give a shout out to Craig and Andrew, a couple of first timers I fished with yesterday. Pretty tough conditions, and they were troopers. They were grinding it out. But it made me think of a couple of things. Well, three things. Three pretty important things about Strike Indicator Nymphing on the Guadalupe. But, it's pretty much the same anywhere you Strike Indicator Nymph. There was three things that I told them that were really important, that would really increase their chances of success. The first thing seems pretty obvious, but just keeping the fly in the water as much as possible. If you can mend and keep that drift going, there's no reason to pick the flies up, especially if we're fishing out of the boat, so we get really long drifts. So keep the flies in the water. The longer the flies are in the water, the more chance there is for a fish to eat the fly. I mean, pretty obvious, right? The second thing is set the hook on anything, especially with the strike indicator. There's lots of little twitches and bounces. A lot of times, I'll even do the same thing, like, oh man, that was a rock, no big deal. Set the hook every time, because there's been so many times, I've been like, that's a fish, or I've been like, oh no, that's just a rock, but set the hook anyway, and then all of a sudden, fish starts jumping. So set the hook on anything, any kind of twitch, any kind of hesitation, set the hook. The third thing, and this one, another one of those, like, oh yeah, that's super obvious, but don't get tangled. And I know with the Strike Indicator Nymph rig, getting tangled is pretty much a guarantee, but the less you tangle, the more time your flies are in the water. So yeah, don't get tangled. And there's a few things you can do to prevent getting tangled. I mean, probably the most obvious thing is just do not cast if you don't know exactly where your flies are. That seems to be the number one reason for tangles. So, somebody will go like, ooh, pick it up, and oh man, I didn't realize my fly was under the boat, and now I'm stuck on the boat, and I'm trying to get it I'm trying to get it off the boat, and then bam, it's tangled. So yeah, just know where your flies are before you pick up to make that next cast. Don't make any sudden movements. That seems to be another one. If you get into this and that going, that pretty much will guarantee you get a tangle. And if you get a tangle on your rod tip, the last thing you want to do is this, and start shaking it to try to untangle it, because it's just going to make the tangle worse. So when you see that thing hit the rod tip, stop and immediately try to untangle it. Don't shake it, don't jiggle it, don't cast it out there again. All right, so there's your three tips for Strike Indicator Nymphing. Keep the flies in the water, set the hook on anything, and try not to tangle. Anyway, that's it. Talk to you guys soon. Good luck out there.